Hi, it's continuing from the last video. We're actually trying a new room here. This is the bathroom, but I'm not actually using the bathroom right now. You'll be pleased to hear. I'm just sitting on a chair in the bathroom. Anyway, okay, that was carrying on. That was technical tasks. So I just tried to describe how. I recommend a strict equality society copes with people with really high technical ability and doing technical tasks without giving them high amounts of power and status, etc. Okay, so now I'm going to crack on with the economy proper, stuff like money, property and goods and all that kind of shopping, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Right. Well, a strict equality society could have money, as far as I can see, as long as it obviously has money while maintaining the equality of the quantities, the three quantities. But I recommend we don't have money really. So in my idea of the strict equality society. Wouldn't be actually any money transferring around between people, but some people, maybe quite a lot of people, would have what they're purchasing in shops being kind of tallied up, and also there might be a rationing system. I'll tell you all about this in a moment, but with some people, well, there are kind of ration points, and some people will be running ration. I sort of account of ration points, but none of that will be really transferable, and also I think there will hopefully be a lot of people who don't have any money, don't have any tallying, and don't have any rationing. So it's basically some people without any of that stuff. A far cry from our current society. Okay, before I explain how the hell we do that, also should be clear, private property, strict equality, I don't think we could have a rule that says there's no private property, it's all shared or whatever. It's like communist kind of thing. I don't think that's the best way to go. I think we shouldn't have a particular rule against private property. I think a person's house should be owned by that person. Also, I just mentioned cooperatives and agencies. They would own their workplaces. Well, there could be some really properly state-owned things, like owned by literally everybody in the state equally in some way. That's possible as well, but I don't see that as... Well, I don't see any problem with private property as long as it doesn't lead to these inequalities in these key areas. So, okay, so shopping. What the hell happens when you go to shop if there's no money? Okay, first of all, I think there should be a sort of form of pricing. I think every product in a shop should be given a quote price unquote, but the price would be actually an estimate of the amount of comfort that product would give to someone who owns it. And it would be measured in some unit of comfort. Don't know what the unit would be called, but anyway. For example, I mean, obviously the amount of comfort a person gets from a product differs widely between people. For example, a set of golf clubs would give a lot more comfort to someone who likes golf than to a normal person. But the price, quote unquote, on it would be an average sort of thing. Now, who works out what these prices are? I think actually the simplest answer to that is not the people, the cooperative who happen to run the shop. I think it should be done by a kind of agency, a state agency, who's have a monopoly on that task of pricing everything. But obviously they have to do it in a particular way, which is defined by law or whatever, and they'd have a probably a qualification system as well to become one of these pricing agents. So when you go into a shop, you can see sort of to get an idea of the sort of comfort that you're giving to yourself, or people would think you're giving to yourself when you pick up one of these products. Okay, so that's that. Now, there's another institution I should tell you about before you fully understand how shopping works, and these will be called equality verifiers. These will actually be cooperatives. Anybody can set up an equality verifying cooperative, and there'll be hundreds or thousands or whatever in the state, in each state, depending on the size of the state, obviously. Okay, so an equality verifying cooperative. What do they do? Well, most citizens will be clients of an equality verifying cooperative, what they roughly do is they check that the client is actually living a kind of average level power status and comfort life. So they sort of inspect the clients. So they'd have different deals with different clients, I think, because you'd have the power to choose the client chooses who is his or her verifying cooperative is. But yeah, roughly speaking, they'd be checking up on you to see whether you're really living this kind of not that comfortable life, average comfort life. So unfortunately, I think they would have to be doing spot checks on people, like coming to your house at random, and if you don't let them in, they'll be wondering why. I know it's a bit of an intrusion, but it's just, I think, a slightly inevitable downside of this whole system. Okay, so why would we why would all of us be volunteering to have these verifying cooperatives in our lives? Reason is that things will be even worse if you don't, because if you don't have one, if things are working as I foresee them, you'd be at serious risk from the equality courts. Then somebody could claim that you're living a really high, say, comfort life, and then you won't be able to prove by calling on this sort of standard people who they would normally stand up, like in these equality courts, and say, no, we've been keeping an eye on this person. What the claimants saying here is rubbish. And they'd be, to greater or lesser extent, these verifying cooperatives would be respectable. They'd have a proven track record, and if they wouldn't say stuff that isn't true otherwise. Well, there might be an inspectorate, I expect, of these verifiers. But basically, if things are working well, these would be kind of respectable organizations. So we would agree to have these verifiers, but I've made it more of a free market thing where they are cooperatives, so that people, as this is an imposition on people, that at least you do have a bit of say in how they inspect you, and what approach they take. And there'd be some innovation, making it, doing it in a good way. Okay, so this would have a big effect on shopping. Basically, you go to the shop, and the way it would work is, obviously these verifiers would want to know what kind of goods you're doing. So you would have a kind of card, a bit like a bank card or credit card, given to you by your verifying cooperative, and it would say on that card, it might say on that card, like, give. You can let this person take anything from your shop. He or she is very trustworthy, and he's basically, he or she is trusted to shop. Or in other cases, it might be for larger, more valuable things. You let us know. You have to tell wire through what the person just this is the message to the shop owner now written on the card, what this person's just taken away from the shop, or it could be there could be clients which are really not trusted by their verifying cooperatives that much, and they have to wire through every purchase, and also to greater or lesser extent those people would have a kind of bank account where it's being tallied what they've purchased in the last month or whatever. So for some people there will be a kind of bank account, but it won't be transferable money, but it'll be a kind of keeping a tally on what they've just bought. Okay, so that's I'll continue in the next video talking a little bit more about the economy. Thanks.